It's April, springtime has come, and interest rates have risen. What the heck is happening with our market? Let's talk about it, buyers and sellers and you homeowners. Let's just jump into it real quick. Right now, interest rates, as of just 3 days ago, have spiked to 7.1% from a low of 6.3 to about 6.6%. What the heck does this mean? Well, anytime you get above 7%, the buyer demand changes. Now, in the last 3 months, January, February, and March, we've seen that low 6% range. And so we've had buyers come flooding back to the market, which is great. Now, this most recent change of 7.1 has not yet impacted us. So it's likely going to impact the month of May, right? So that is yet to be seen. But right now, we do see a flood of buyers coming back compared to last year, at least from the last 6 months, which is great. Now, is this like the pandemic? No, not at all. But it has increased with the amount of buyer demand because there are more homes for sale. So let's just jump in that as well in about 2 slides from now. But the change of inventory has really been impactful for the state of Texas. As you can see, we have 30.8% more from year over year. Compared to the rest of the nation, we're one of the top states with more inventory. And that shows, especially in the Austin market, because we have slowed down compared to the rest of America. When I say slowed down, I mean we've slowed down in the amount of sales that we've had. And so, therefore, buyers have more of an opportunity to get a better deal. And so, again, that is really specific to the city of Austin, where other states aren't quite as impacted. Now, we do know that Austin still is the number one city in America with pent up buyer demand. So that's why we still have buyers coming to the market, even with the amount of inventory we have, which again is great for both sellers and for buyers. So let's talk about the single family home data summary. Jumping into days on market, it decreased, which is great, to 81 days. Now, that's still high. Again, compared to the rest of America, where homes are selling in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, it's about 81 days in our market. So expect to be on the market for at least 2 to 3 months, especially if the home is not priced correctly. Now, if the home is priced fair and the condition is great, you're in a whole different type of story. We'll talk about that too in a moment. New listings have increased 10% year over year. So compared to this time last year, we're still up with the amount of new listings. So again, more competition for sellers. The closed price to original list price is 97%, which means if the seller wanted 500,000, were they getting it? No, they're getting below that. 97% of that value is what they're receiving. The median list price is 485,000. That increased, so that means with the more listings coming to the market, we are seeing a higher price point come to the market as well. The closed price is at 439. That has stayed steady from from February this year to March. It's consistent at 439,000. So we didn't decrease or increase. The active listings and sold listings. So we're at 10,247 active listings and 2,738 closed sold listings. Now, I want to talk about this because if you look at the last 6 years, we're really at a 6 year low for how much we've sold in the month of March. Okay, so all of March, this last time, we've seen the lowest amount of sold listings. Well, what does that mean? It means that you don't have as much business coming through. We don't have as many buyers coming through. So be a little more patient as a seller and price the home fairly in order to make sure your home gets sold. Now, when it comes to your active listings, we do have 1,889 or 23% more active listings that came to the market versus pre-pandemic. So again, there's more competition. And we have 4 months of inventory. That's great for buyers. You get to select a home without being pressured or forced like the pandemic time. And for sellers, you just have more competition. So let's talk about you sellers real quick. So is there a better outlook for 2024? It's questionable now. We're not necessarily going to get worse from what we expect, but are we going to go ahead and see those lower interest rates? Well, the Fed said maybe not. We may actually have one more increase. We don't know if they're actually going to decrease. And if that doesn't happen and we stay really high or pretty higher with our interest rates, then expect then the market to still be very competitive as a seller. So active listings went up, again, more competition. Days to sell, yeah, that decreased a little bit, but we're still high. We want to be really under that 60-day mark. 30 days to 45 days would be preferable, where you really can get the home sold fast, but we're nowhere near that. Interest rates, again, we already talked about them increasing. If you look here, you're going to spend as a buyer about $265 more just because the rate jumped from 6.3 to 7.1%. So if you're a buyer and you're looking at this home, maybe yours that you want to sell, and it costs $265 more, you might just want to wait a little bit or negotiate that price down further. So sellers, expect again a little bit more of negotiation. So that changed as well. Negotiation power has increased for the buyer about 5%. So they hold about 70% of the negotiation power. Sellers, you hold about 30% as of today. And of course, if you have a fair price on the home with a great condition, expect the home to sell. However, if it doesn't meet that condition or that equation, then expect again the home to last longer on the market and steeper price decreases. Now, the selling strategy and marketing must be creative and it must be on point. So, ask your real estate agent, ask us how that has changed. We're happy to go ahead and guide you. Buyers, let's talk about you. So, more buyers have come to the market. We just said that in the last 3 months. Interest rates have increased. Kind of stinks, but you can refinance when the rates are expected to eventually decrease. So get in the home today while prices are lower versus waiting for all the competition in the future. Remember earlier we just mentioned that Austin is the number one city with pent-up buyer demand. So why go and compete against everybody else when you can get a lower price today? Now, higher inventory, so more homes to select from versus the pandemic, which is great. And sellers, again, you can negotiate with them in order to have your part of your closing costs paid for and inspection repairs to be done, especially if the home has been on the market for more than about 40 days. Anything that just goes under contract within the first 2 weeks to 30 days, it's harder, much more difficult to get anything paid for by the seller because they think their home is worth gold, right? They think their home is the best stuff ever. Also, homes priced under 400,000, that will still be competitive. Absolutely. There are still multiple offers today in our market for homes that are under 400,000, especially around that 350 to like 360, almost 380 price point. And then homes will be in better condition versus pre-pandemic. And what I mean by that is the sellers who are coming to market, their homes are in a lot better condition. They're being a little more cautious about what's repaired or not repaired versus the pandemic where you just got what you got, right? And if there's something broken, you got it. Questions, if you have any, reach out. We are definitely here to help. We love education. We hope to see you next month. You take care.